Waiting for my first folks to come on. Hey, everybody. Hey, Sophia. Hey. Thank you for joining me today for my midday scope. I'm over here fixing my hair since you're the first one there. Hey, Jaquel. All my boos are jumping on for my midday scope. While y'all the first ones here, before company comes, I'm trying to get my hair together. And make sure I got my life together. Hey, thank you for the hearts already. You guys love me. Hi, everybody. Go ahead and drop your name down below so we can chat today. I want to make sure that I answer your questions and give you guys some really good information. Oh, thank you, Sophia. Y'all, Sophia's my rich friend. Hey, Colson. Sophia's my rich friend from the 1K 1 day course that we took. And I have a link for y'all if anybody's interested in that because I'm really excited and it has totally changed my life. Hey, everybody, go ahead, drop your name down below. Hi, Colson. Colson, is your first name Kim? Go ahead and drop your name and I'll make sure that I call y'all by the right name instead of making up a screen name for you or just calling you my boo. So first of all, hi everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Aaliyah Mims of ltheoryexperience.com. And ltheoryexperience.com is a website dedicated to love, life, and liberation. And beyond that, I am the creator and founder of the Redesign Your Life and Activate Your Goals course. It's a course that's dedicated to helping you discover your purpose and to creating actionable goals and also to identify where your failures are happening so that you can have a productive and an abundant 2016. So before I jump into the things that you must be willing to do and you absolutely have to do these 3 things to make your 2016 a prosperous year, a little bit about me and how I know that this Redesign Your Life course works. About 4 years ago, I became divorced and I separated from my partner. It was a really rough time in my life. I had recently foreclosed on my home and I had gone through repeat pregnancy losses. And to say I had hit my bottom is absolutely the truth. Over the course of the next 2 years after that, I implemented the strategy that I call the Redesign Your Life and Activate Your Goals process. And through that strategy and through that process, I was able to turn around those negative things and those really traumatic things into having an absolutely amazing 2015. So just a couple of my receipts, as my business coach, Nicole Walter, says, is I reconnected with my ex. So I just shared on my scope yesterday that I just been recently engaged again. This past summer, I bought my first home and I finally got a diagnosis after all of these years of infertility about what truly is going on. And that diagnosis has been a lifesaver. So to say that Redesign Your Life and Activate Your Goals work, y'all, I am a living testimony. And so one of the things that I like to do in my scopes is to share some of the lessons that I've learned that have really changed and transformed my life so that you can apply them to your life as well and transform them. So without further ado, let's jump into these 3 essential things that you absolutely must do in order to have a prosperous 2016. And if you're not doing these 3 things, then those goals and those resolutions that you're writing down, you might as well write them all down, take that same piece of paper, ball it up, and throw it in the trash, because that's exactly what's going to happen if you don't implement these strategies. And these are not anything that I'm making up because I read in some self-help book. These are things that have been tried and true that I've tested out in my own life and I know that works. And so I want to go ahead and share them with you because that's what I do for my butterfly boos. I give you guys some good knowledge that you can apply immediately and that you can start to see some transformation in your life. So usually I say, get your pen and get your paper. And I had my daughter singing that last night. But today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to give you guys some key points and I'm going to ask you to go ahead and type it down in the comment section. 1, so that I can make sure that you're following along. And also, I really do believe that when you type it in there, it will help other people who are watching this broadcast later. And then it'll help it stick in your brain. So give me a thumbs up if you are going to go ahead and do that. And before I jump into those points, go ahead and click the little person that you see on the bottom of your screen and share this with the follower that you think is going to really benefit from this. So you know how sometimes we can be a little passive aggressive and we don't want to point no names and point no fingers, but y'all know that one person at least that probably will benefit from this. So I'm going to give you 15 seconds to go ahead and share it either with that one person or to all of your viewers so that they can hop onto this scope. Thank you, Sophia. Sophia, my rich friend, likes to be first, so she's jumping on and doing that right away. So thank you, Sophia, for going ahead and doing that. All right, let me take a deep breath. Thank you, Colson. Colson is my new boo. She just don't know it yet. So she's jumping on there. She's sharing it with her friends too, because she got that one person that needs to hear this, and she doesn't want to point any fingers out and call any names out, but they know who they are, and you know who they are, so we're going to pray for them, all right? All right, so the first thing that you have to do in order for your 2016 to be prosperous is you have to let go of expectations. Hear me clearly when I say you have to let go of expectations. When I say you need to let go of expectations, a lot of times we fall victim to this idea that I'm 34. I'm supposed to be married by now. I'm blank. I'm supposed to have this degree by now. I'm at this job. Oh, Colson, thank you. I appreciate you always jumping on and sharing the love and coming back and looking at the broadcast later. So thank you. We'll send some hearts on your behalf. We often think that by the time we get to a certain age or a certain level that there's a lot of shoulds that come with it, whether those shoulds are monetary shoulds, relationship shoulds, whatever they are. We have this script a lot of times that we have for our life, and we think that if we are not attaining that script, then there's something wrong with us. And a lot of times we spend so much energy trying to get that checklist of things without really examining our motivation for why those are. And when we do that, not only do we set ourselves up for failure, we set ourselves up for disappointment, and we set ourselves up for failure because it's really not meant for us to attain some of those things. And then we set ourselves up into this negative script of I can't and I won't, and we think that there's something wrong with us. And then instead we invest all of that energy into the wrong goals instead of investing into the right goals. So let me tell y'all a little bit about how that happened for me. When I was in my mid to late 20s, I really believed that, I had the degree, I had the house, I had, on paper, the resume that looked right. And I thought, this is the time. Let me back up a little bit. I thought that I needed to have the house, and I thought that I needed to be married because I was in that phase in my life where I felt that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's what successful people do. And I needed to have the kid. What did God do? So I got some of those things. I got the house. I rushed into a relationship and got married, and almost right away, right after being married, we rushed to have children. And fortunately, our daughter came from that, but I wasn't able to conceive or sustain a pregnancy. And for the longest, for the duration of my marriage, I kept going into this spiral of non-success in those areas. And I couldn't understand why was I not getting it, even though I wanted it bad enough. I prayed about it bad enough. I wrote all kind of affirmations and vision boards about it, but it still wasn't happening. What I realized, of course, on the other side of it was that my motivation for those things were absolutely wrong. I wanted a house because I thought that that was what I was supposed to have, but because I truly wasn't ready and it wasn't the right goal for me, what ended up happening was I ended up foreclosing on my house. And it wasn't because of lack of money. It was because I didn't have the skills yet that went into maintaining a house and maintaining a mortgage and paying my bills on time and prioritizing the right things. So I went into a foreclosure. I rushed into a house that truly I shouldn't even have bought. When I started the home buying process, I was looking for a condo, a 1 or 2 bedroom condo, and got suckered into buying a 2-family home that was literally double the amount that was my budget. But because I hadn't developed those skills yet and those financial skills, I went along with what people were telling me I needed to do and not really doing my own homework about what was right for me. Same thing with rushing into a marriage. Being ready is the way to manifest. And you're absolutely right. A lot of people think manifesting will get you ready. I'm really glad you said that. But God has a way of turning hardships into lessons. And so the good thing is, after I went through the divorce and realizing that I didn't have any of the relationship skills, the only skills I truly had was how to be codependent and how to be manipulative in a way, and how to focus on everybody else's problems. When all of those things were removed from my life, I was truly able to look at the motivation for why did I want those to begin with, and what was I trying to accomplish? And because I was able to have those honest conversations with myself about this is really what I was trying to go after, and these are truly the skills that I was lacking, I was able to focus on those areas first. And when I was able to say, I really wanted to feel validated, and I really want to feel responsible and financially secure, I really want to be able to minister and guide people, and that was truly at the root of what I wanted, then those things came more abundantly in my life. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to let go of your expectations and your shoulds and your script of what you think life is supposed to be. So point one, who's going to go ahead and be the first one to type it for me? What's the first thing you got to do in order for your goals to happen? I know some people are probably furiously writing it down, so I'm going to repeat it for you one more time. Let go of the expectations of how life is supposed to be. If you're saying supposed to or should in any of your goals, that's already the wrong goal for you. The second thing that you have to do you got to let go of that script. That script, those S words, should, supposed to, and script, those are bad words as far as I'm concerned. Those have no room in your vocabulary, and they're not going to give you the abundance that you want. The second thing that you have to do that's absolutely essential is that you have to be willing to be extraordinary. Let's break down what I mean when I say extraordinary. Extraordinary is a compound word of two words, extra and ordinary. And what that means is that you have to be willing to go beyond what is typical in order to get atypical results. There's that quote and that saying that you can't get what you want doing the same things. I'll mess it all up. You can't get what you want by doing what you've always done. That's the quote. I don't know who said it, so I'm not even going to sit up here and lie. Y'all can say I said it. Say, Aaliyah said it. But what that basically means is you can't think by waking up and sleeping in every day and doing the bare minimum and just doing that bare minimum checklist and being late on your projects that you're going to get the promotion. And a lot of times we realize that in our professional life and we realize that in our education life, but we don't realize that in the rest of the life. So I'm going to break down some Bible scriptures for y'all to kind of prove this point. One of the things I love about reading the Bible and love about when you really do the history about it is that you realize that God showed up by breaking the rules. Let me give you some examples. If you really think about it, Jesus came from this long line from the line of David, but he was born to an unmarried at the time woman who was a virgin. That's not what it was supposed to be in the Bible about how kings come to be. When you look at Ruth, and I'm not going to break down the exact story, but you look at Ruth and her situation, all of the things that she was able to accomplish was because she broke the rules of what was typical. We look at Abraham and we look at Moses in the Bible and we look at those things and we saw that God was able to provide newness and enrichment in our lives when we broke the rules about what was typical. Even the idea of Christianity is breaking the old law, so to speak, in order to have something new. So what I'm really trying to bring home to y'all right now is that in order for you to, I lost some followers there. And my thing is, even if you're not Christian or even if you're not religious, we can still look at this as evidence and look at the lessons in it to discover that in order for you to get something different, you have to break the rules. So for me, what did that mean for me? That meant that even in my own career, I wanted this new position. And I'm not going to get into too many details about the position. But when on paper, the person said, well, you haven't gone through this particular training. You haven't done this particular degree. So typically, this is not something that someone of your stature would get. And I said, fine, that's fine. Remember, y'all came to me for the job, but this is what I do bring to the table. And this is what I'm willing to do. And no, I don't want to do that other role that you have me doing. I want to do the next one up because that's truly what I'm capable of doing. And that's how I was able to have the abundance. Even looking at my financial situation, a lot of times people would say, well, you have a foreclosure on your record. You're not supposed to be able to own a home again. And I said, fine, but these are the things that I'm going to go ahead and do in order to learn the lessons of finances so that I can get that next thing that was really important to me. And I did it. So I'm going to ask yourselves, and even with my own business with LTheoryExperience.com, I work a long, not a 9 to 5, I work 50, 60 hours a week. And so I wanted to be able to build my business. And so that meant waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and putting in those extra hours to grind, or staying up late at night in order to grind to be able to get to my goals. Then that's what I'm going to do in order to make it happen. So what I want you all to do for the second step in order for you to get your goals is that you have to be willing to be extraordinary. Don't do the typical thing like everybody else did. Don't do the typical thing like you've been doing. I want you to step out and do something atypical so you can get some atypical results. And yes, absolutely being fearless and being confident that even if you can't see how that path is going to be, you know it's going to be working together for your good, and you know that your input is going to match your output. And if your input is not matching your output, it's probably because you're pursuing the wrong goals. So that wasn't really one of my points, but I do want to make that point. If you can honestly say, I'm doing everything possible and it's still not working for me, two things are happening. You're picking the wrong goals, and you haven't learned the lessons yet. And so you need to do a pivot. You need to do a sidestep to say, what is it that I haven't mastered in order for me to get to the level that I want? And sometimes even asking that question audibly out to the universe will bring answers right away. And so sometimes people think that prayer is telling God or telling whomever that the path that you want to take. But what you have to be able to do is be able to ask questions and then be open to receiving the answers. So sometimes the prayers that I have is, I don't understand what's going on. Please help me to learn. And until I learn, please help me to have patience and to have trust that what this path is going, that I'm going on right now, is going to help me realize the lessons so that I can implement the lessons and be able to have success. Because it's not fun repeating the course, and you would trust and believe you're going to keep repeating the same lessons over and over and over again until you finally get it. So, excuse me, that's your other clue. You're not getting what you want and you keep being back in the same situation. You haven't learned the lesson, and you need to employ these steps. And so here's a last step on my lunch day scope about what you absolutely have to do. And this is related to what Sophia said about being fearless. There is absolutely no way that you can attain your goals unless you're willing to clean house. Cleaning house means cleaning up your environment. That means that you have to remove the toxic habits that you're doing that's preventing you from being successful. You have to remove the toxic people from your life that are not meaning you well and that are not bringing value. You have to remove the toxic mindsets and that toxic script that you've been putting and replaying in your head that's not allowing you to be successful. You have to clean house. There is no way that you can have something new and something beautiful on top of old mess. Period. Point blank. And there's just no other simple way around it. You might walk the walk, but you're not talking the talk, and you're not having alignment between your thoughts and your actions. And when you don't have alignment, your life is absolutely showing you. It is going to show up about where you are having incongruence and where you're having misalignment. And trust me, it's going to show just like some dirty panties on top of clothes. It's going to show. And you may not be aware, but trust me, everybody else around you is aware of it. And they might be talking about you, and they might be sitting back thinking, Lord, when is she finally going to realize that her environment is toxic? When is she going to finally realize that goal is not for her? When is she going to finally realize that that man or that woman is not for her? These are the things that you have to do in order to be able to have the kind of goals in the life that you want. So as a quick recap, because I see some people just jumped on, the 3 things that you absolutely must have in order for you to reach those goals is, first, you have to let go of the expectations, the shoulds, the supposed tos, and the scripts. Go back and rewatch this scope from the beginning if you're just hopping on so you can hear how I break that down. The second thing is that you must be willing to be extraordinary. Extraordinary. You must do atypical things in order to get atypical results. And the third thing is that you have to clean house. You have to clean your own house. You have to clean your friend's house. You have to clean your habits. You have to clean your mindset in order for you to be successful. So those are the 3 things I have for you today, but I have one more point that I need you to do. If you found this helpful, and if you are ready finally to say 2016, I'm ready to have an atypical year. I'm ready to have an abundant year. I need you to go to ltheoryexperience.com and click on the shop at the top. I need you to go to redesign your life and activate your goals so you can take the full course about what it means in order to have goals that are going to be purpose driven, that are not going to be setting you up for failure, that's going to be setting you up to have a transformative year, because I know that these steps work and I need them to work in your life, because all the people around me, all my boos that are watching right now and all my boos that are watching this rebroadcast, I need people around me that are my iron, because iron sharpen iron. And so I need those people around me that are going to fill my cup and that are going to be representative of the abundance that I'm striving for. So if you're on that scope, that means you too. I need you to go to ltheoryexperience.com, click shop, and then go ahead and get that redesign your life and activate your goals purpose, because 2016 needs to be extraordinary for all of us. I truly don't believe in a finite sum of abundance. I believe there's enough for me and there's enough for you, but I need you guys to go ahead and go get that so that you can have an abundant year and you can come and drop down your testimony about how 2016 has been the most amazing year for you. So before I hop off this scope, I know I've been talking nonstop, and I hope y'all know how passionate I am, because I truly, truly, truly want this for you, and because I want it for me. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop down your questions or any thoughts or but what about this? Or what about this person or what about this situation? I am more than happy to address them. So go ahead and let me know. What do you think? And if you don't have any questions, I want you to go ahead and on your Twitter account, I want you to say one thing that 2016 is going to bring for you. And I want you to hashtag that be liberated. Hashtag be liberated, because you are truly going to have a year of love, of life, and of liberation, because that is the L Theory experience that I'm bringing to you and I'm bringing to me. I can't wait to see you guys on the other side. I look forward to seeing your downloads for the Redesign Your Life and Activate Your Goals series. And I absolutely can't wait to see what goals and what abundance you pick for yourself in 2016 with hashtag Be Liberated. Bye.